Hare Krishna. Omagyantimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. Tomorrow I am taking how to burn karma. This topic in ISKCON Hare Krishna TV. It's a live show. Of course, it is in Hindi. So somebody want to attend, they can attend. It's going to come in ISKCON Desert. It's live. So just a small announcement. Hare Krishna. So this is an interesting topic. No matter how much we discuss, there are so many things that we still have to understand in this topic. And many people uh, they try to analyze and know, and still it's very complicated because some subtle things we cannot understand in a gross way. We can understand only by tapasya and subtle realizations. So it won't happen simply because we want to know it technically. So you have to do some tapasya to understand certain things. That should be clear first. So we need to have sufficient pious credit to also understand. Say now, if you go to some very gross materialistic person and try to explain him law of karma, he will not understand anything of it. He says he say you will not believe all these things. Why he is not able to understand? Because you don't have that credits, and it is applicable to us also. If we want to know certain things, we have to perform some tapasya for it. So that means eventually we may understand. So now, because already we are doing some tapasya, so we are able to understand something. So eventually we will get the realization, and then we can understand. So it's like that. So here, this is a very nice point Narada Muni is telling. We'll just take this point. So here, the mind of living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies, and according to one's desire for sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. So we discussed this part that the impressions are already there and they are going to act in a particular way. So we have to accept. And then we discussed yesterday this point that first is associate. How you associate, you get the impressions, and impressions give an identity. Impressions give all three things happen because of impressions. We discussed just a revision for you because this is a very important point to analyze. These principles are given in Yoga Shastras. Krishna tells also these are things in the second chapter and third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Only thing is, he does not very detailed explanations, but in Yoga Shastras we get this explanation. So association, so we get impressions. So these are called samskaras, and these samskaras they are stored in chitta, and this chitta this will form your ego, ahankara, and manas and buddhi. So all our actions are based on these three things: manas, buddhi, and ahankara. So it's how like that. So where it is starting, where we are associating. So karanam gunasangasya sadasad yoni janmasu. So Krishna tells actually because of your association. Karanam gunasangasya. So you are associating with what? Associating with modes. Gunasangasya. So we are associating different three modes of nature, and this association is causing these impressions, and then everything continues. So now instead of so how, that's why we should become beyond the modes. So we should associate something which is beyond modes. So that is the solution. So what is beyond modes where we which we can associate? That is Supreme Lord. So our association should be something beyond modes, right? So this is the most important point. We should be something beyond modes. Something beyond modes is what? Bhagavatam, holy name, and all the other things which are connected to bhakti. So if we are associating, so if you have a television at home, mobile at home, and the things that are coming are within the three modes, then the impression, sanskaras, chitta, buddhi, manahankar, this is forming. But if our association is something which is beyond modes, then same impression, samskara, this chitta is formed, and then ahankara, manas, and buddhi. So this is how the system works. So now when we are doing our sadhana, sadhana basically is what? Sadhana means we are associating some things which are beyond modes, which we don't like generally. So sadhana, so this is sadhana. So we are forcing ourselves to get impressions which are beyond modes. That's what we are doing. So we want to get this sadhana to get spiritual samskaras, right? So this is how the system is working. So we are, it's all depends on our association only. So whom we are associating. So here Nardamuni says that Krishna consciousness means associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a mental state that the devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead does. You see? Very nice. So if we are Krishna consciousness means what? Association. So that's actually what we are discussing. It's all association only. Associating with Supreme Lord, not with the three modes. If you remember, Narada Muni is telling that living entity are given two choices. Supreme Lord are three modes. He is choosing three modes. So every day we have to consciously choose the Lord, but every time we choose three modes. What is meant by choosing three modes? I like, I don't like. So this is actually what is choosing what not three modes. Choosing three modes is I like, I don't like. But choosing Supreme Lord means what Guru Sadhu Shastra is telling, what is right. That is the choice, right? So, and of God in such a mental state, devotee can observe the cosmic manifestation as Lord does. Such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest exactly like dark planet known as Rahu, which is observed in the presence of full moon. You see, such a nice analogy. So this is how it works. So we have choice between three modes and Supreme Lord. Now, what is the choice of three modes means? I like, I don't like. So this is how whole day goes for us. I like, I don't like. Then we are stuck up in three modes only. But I want to choose Supreme Lord. Here comes Sadhu Shastra and Guru. So we have to follow what Sadhu Shastra and Guru. Then we can say that, so we are choosing them. So that means what we are choosing? We are choosing what is right. So this is the choice we are making. What is right? And then if you make what is right, and it's even I may like, I may not like. So here comes choosing the Supreme Lord. Then what happens? We can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as Supreme Lord. So this is actually what happened first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is seeing, and he's seeing what? He's seeing all the pain and suffering which is going to face. So this is actually what he's seeing. So what Krishna did? Krishna will tell in Arjuna, I will, then second chapter onwards, Krishna is showing, see the way I show you. So this is actually what Lord is doing. So Lord want to make us see the way He is looking at these things, and we are accustomed to look in a words. So this is in the three modes. But if you see according to what Lord shows, then we'll not have pain. The pain in why we are experiencing is because we want to see the world with our conditionings, with the three modes. So, but Lord is telling, no, 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 I will show you, right? So this is the most important thing. The problem what we are facing is, so then what happens? We can observe the cosmic manifestation exactly as Supreme Lord does. You're seeing, and Prabhupada Narada Muni is saying such observation is not always possible, but it becomes manifest when this analogy is giving. So it has been explained in the previous verse that all desires on the mental platform becomes visible one after another. Sometimes, however, by the supreme will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the whole stockpile can be visible all at one time. Karmani nirdahati kintu japakti bhajam. So this karma, the stockpile is visible. We can know when a person is fully absorbed in Krishna conscious, stockpile of material desires is minimized. Indeed, the desires no longer fructify in the form of gross bodies. Instead, the stockpile of desires become visible on the mental platform by the grace of Supreme Lord. So this is very important. So what happens is all our desires are still there. So when we take to bhakti, they just come in front of us, and then we will say, okay, it's okay. Sometimes the desires are fulfilled in a dream also. So it is not manifesting as when a person is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, his stockpile is minimized. That means all the aprar of the karma is finished. Then what happened to that the aprar the karma? It is not just immediately going, but it is not fructifying in the form of gross bodies, but instead the stockpile of desires visible on a mental platform. That means his desires may be fulfilled in the dream. That's how it happens, many of them. Becomes visible on a mental platform by the grace of Supreme Lord. That means his desires are to be fulfilled. Instead of fulfilling by giving gross bodies, what Lord is doing, He is making them fulfill on a mental level only, so that the person is completely free from that desires one for all. Once it comes to the mental platform, you are free from it. That's how it happens. What other yogis do, na? They want to nullify some of their desires which are not conducive. So what they do, they enter into some other bodies, fulfill the desires, and come back to their original body, and then they continue their sadhana. So they know, because I will be stuck up with this desire. So they use this method of entering into another bodies and fulfilling. Means they will take another body. They don't enter, sorry. They take another body, they enjoy it, and then they destroy the body and come into the original body. So that's how they do. Here, for devotees, no need of that. Lord will make it visible on a mental platform. So in this connection, the darkness occurred before the full moon. The lunar eclipse can be explained as being another planet known as Rahu. According to Vedic astronomy, the Rahu planet, which is not visible, is accepted. Sometimes the Rahu planet is visible in the presence of full moon. It then appears that this Rahu planet exists somewhere near the orbit of the moon. The failure of modern moon excursions may be due to Rahu planet. In other words, those who are supposed to be going to moon may actually be going to this invisible planet Rahu. So Prabhupada is revealing very important secrets. And because Prabhupada is not writing, it is written by Krishna only. So in future, scientists will discover these things. So that we are not reached moon, we are going somewhere in between and getting stuck and thinking that as moon. So we have Chandrayaan, but actually it is Rahuyan maybe. Actually, they are not going to moon but to the Rahu planet, and after reaching this planet, they come back. So Rahuyan, this is not Chandrayaan. Of course, if you say, people may get offended, but this is what acharyas are telling, and this is Krishna only is revealing the truth to us. So apart from the this discussion, the point is that the living entity has immense and unlimited desires for material enjoyment, and he has to transmigrate from one gross body to another until these desires are exhausted. You see, this is the main point. Until our desires are exhausted, we will keep on getting bodies, keep on getting bodies, and desires keep on increasing, because we are associating with modes. Karanam guna sangasya. That's what urdhamula madashakam ashwattam prahuravyam chandramsi yasya varnani istam vedana vedet. So this is actually what the 15th chapter of BG says, Bhagavad Gita says, right? So now, no living entity is free from the clutches of birth and death unless it takes to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly said as Satvika Nishte, that when one is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, in one stroke, he is free from past and future mental desires. So, this is the advantage with bhakti. It's not that it's by the grace of Lord. So, then by the grace of Lord, everything becomes simultaneously manifest within the mind. So this is the most important thing. So Lord is mercifully making it come into the mind. And Prabhupada writing in this regard, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur cites the example of Mother Yashoda seeing the whole cosmic manifestation within the mouth of Lord Krishna. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Mother Yashoda saw all the universes and planets within the mouth of Krishna. Similarly, by the grace of Supreme Lord Krishna, a Krishna conscious person can see all his dormant desires at one time and finish off all his future transmigrations. This facility is especially given to devotees to make his path clear to return home back to Godhead. So one day we shall to see all our desires. If we are not seeing, then we will get another body. So we have to pray to Krishna that I don't want. So make clear me all my desires of all the past lives. So Krishna may fulfill the desires. He will show us in the dream, and then we are free from it. Why we see things not experienced in this life is explained here. That which see in the future expression of a gross body or is already stock in our mental stockpile. So we see that which we see in the future expression of a gross body. That means the type of body we are going to get are already stocked in our mental stockpile, because a Krishna conscious person does not have to accept a future gross body. His recorded desires are fulfilled in the dream. You see? So therefore sometimes find things in the dream never experience in our present life. So Krishna is clearing all our bad things in the dream. So if a brahmachari is getting a dream of getting married, so it is that means his past life some desire is there, and in the dream that is cleared. So he's safe. He's no more need to get married. He can continue like that. So it happens. So this is how it is working. So that we will start today's sloka. So here it's all properly connected from Bhagavad Gita. As long as there exists a subtle material body composed of intelligence, mind, senses, sense objects, and the reactions of the material qualities, the consciousness of false identification and its relative objects, the gross body exists as well. So why we are having gross body is because we have all these things. So what all things that are listed here to why we have a gross body? So if you have a gross body, that means it is having intelligence, it is having mind, it is having senses, sense objects, reactions of the material qualities, consciousness of false identification, and its relative objectives. That means reactions of the material qualities means three modes. We have so much reactions, and relative object means our identification. So with all these things which are relative, my country, my family, my wife, my husband. So then the gross body exists as well. So if you don't have any of these things, especially this one, false identification, so then we will not have. Of course, all are related. So that's how it is gone. Now, Prabhupada writing uh, the desire of the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego cannot be fulfilled without a gross body, right? That's why all these see desires in the subtle body, where are there? Of mind also, intelligence also, ego also. All three levels we have desires. So the desires in the mind are I like, I don't like. Desires at the intelligence are you want to in do something very new and exclusive, and you want to be special. So and ego is you identify. So here with mind, desires in mind is of mind. What are desires of mind? I like, I don't like. And desires of intelligence, actually here manas buddhi, but will buddhi is you want to do something special, new. Means this is like innovation, creation. If you have done, you have repaired some very tough things or solved some very tough mathematical problem or something like scientists and all. So their happiness is the level of buddhi. And ego is when you have some possessions, achievements. So that means I made a big house. Big house means big ego, right? So it's how like that. So how we are identification. So this is how the desires in the so desires in the body of subtle body of mind intelligence you cannot be fulfilled without gross body composed of material elements earth water fire and ether. When the gross body is not manifest, the living entity cannot factually act in material modes of nature. So this is the point. So we need gross body to act in the three modes. That's why Krishna tells in the uh, 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where it's all action through body. So in this verse, it is clearly explained that the subtle activities of mind intelligence continue due to the suffering and enjoyment of living entities subtle body. Very important. It is not the object that is giving pleasure, it's the subtle activities of the mind intelligence that is actually giving suffering and enjoyment of a living entity. That means if you are eating, say, some sweet rice, today is Dwadashi, so not a problem. I can talk about food. So if you are eating, it's not the food that is giving pleasure. There should be certain chemicals that should be released in your mind, which is making you feel like a pleasure. That means it's a subtle body that is acting. Like now I say, okay, you have a feast, or a person is telling now you are going to get divorced. So he is feeling some happiness. No, if he is feeling happiness, it is not where the happiness is coming. Happiness is coming in the mind. You are understanding? So this is the point. The consciousness of material identification such as I and mind still continue because such consciousness have been extant from time immemorial. However, when one transfers to the spiritual world by virtue of understanding Krishna consciousness, the actions and reactions of both gross and subtle body no longer bother the spirit soul. So, when see, very important. We told na the identification is where comes. Still continue because such consciousness has been extinct from time immemorial. So, spiritual world, no identification. At this speed, we will not be able to complete much purpose, but it's okay. We'll try to understand properly. So, all these things are properly given in like sutra form in Bhagavad Gita, elaborated in Bhagavatam, especially some of the sections. So when a living entity is in deep sleep, when he faints, when there is some great shock on account of severe loss, at the time of death, or when the body temperature is very high, the movement of life air is arrested. At the time, the living entity loses knowledge of identifying the body with the self. That means he will give up the body. He cannot identify anymore. Why? Because the movement of life air are arrested. The prana is living that. As long as prana is there in the body, we identify. Prana is stopped, we cannot identify with the body. So at that time, the living entity loses the knowledge of identifying with the body, with the self. So that is actually what is happens. So foolish people deny the existence of soul, but it is a fact that when we sleep, we forget. Actually, all the places, deep sleep state also, we forget the identity as a body. When we faint, also, we forget the identity. When there is some great shock on account of severe loss, then also we forget the identity. At the time of death, that also. And when the body temperature is very high. So, all the time, the movement of life air is arrested. That's the reason we are not able to identify with the body. So, how many scenarios are there where you don't identify with the body? This is actually given nicely. So we will write it down. So in deep sleep, when we faint, great shock, and severe loss. Severe loss means he lost some of his family members or whom he loved very much, his wife or husband, something like that. Time of death, or when the body temperature is high. So that means when we are very sick, now that time people enter into coma. So high temperature. So in all these scenarios, so we will lose the life air is arrested. So then loses knowledge of identification with body. So we'll see what Prabhupada writes here. So, but this is a fact that when we sleep, we forget the identity of material body, and when we awake, we forget the identity of settled body. So, in other words, while sleeping, we forget the activities of gross body, and when active in the gross body, we forget the activities of sleeping. So in the when we are sleeping, na, the subtle body is active. That means dreams are very there. That is there we take it very seriously. Actually, both states, sleeping and awakening, are creation of illusory energy. The living entity actually has no connection with either the activities of sleep or the activities of slow called awakened state. You see, that means in both cases, na, the soul in the awakened state, it is identifying with the subtle body, gross body. Soul is identifying with gross body when he's awake, and with the subtle body when he's asleep. That means the dreams are very important for us. Means we start affected by the dreams. But in both cases, soul is independent. That's what actually. When a person is in deep sleep or when he is fainted, he forgets his gross body. Similarly, under chloroform or some other anesthesia, the living entity forgets his gross body and does not feel pain or pleasure during a surgical operation. So, what they are doing in the when they are giving anesthesia, they are basically holding onto prana vayu. So here, when they are giving anesthesia, the prana vayu is stopped. So when prana is stopped in that area, then you don't feel any sensation there. So you does not feel the pain or pleasure during the surgical operation because there is no prana there. Similarly, when the man is suddenly shocked by great loss, he forgets his identity with the gross body. At the time of death, when the temperature of the body is 107 degrees, the living entity falls into coma and is unable to identify the gross body. So here in such cases, the life air, that movement within the body is choked up. Actually, in anesthesia, they are trying to, in the brain, there are certain things which are connecting to the nerves. So they try to block them so that you don't feel the sensation. But actually, it is a gross understanding of the scientist. But in a subtle level, it's actually prana only. So the life air that moves within the body is choked up and the living entity forgets his identity with the gross body because of our ignorance of the spiritual body of which we have no experience. We do not know of the activities of spiritual body, and in ignoring we jump from one false platform to another platform. So this is a very nice, we act sometimes in relation to gross body, sometime in relation to subtle body. If by Krishna's grace we act in our spiritual body, we can transcend both gross and subtle bodies. So, in other words, we can gradually train ourselves to act in terms of spiritual body. As stated in Narada Pancharatra, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Devotional service means engaging the spiritual body and spiritual senses in the service of the Lord. When we are engaged in such activity, the actions and reactions of gross body and subtle body ceases. You see how much knowledge Prabhupada is giving in one purport. So much deep. And actually, it is not repeating. He's telling all new things only. People think he's speaking. No, because if you see so subtle level, Prabhupada is speaking many new things. When one is a youth, all the 10 senses and mind are completely visible. However, in the mother's womb or in the boyhood state, the sense organs and the mind remained covered, just as a full moon is covered by the darkness of dark moon night. So this is actually such a deep analysis Narada is trying to give Prachini Barsha to make him understand how the soul is different from gross body, how it is different from the subtle body, and how the subtle body can be perceived. So he gave the previous example of Rahu and moon. And now he is giving the example, just as moon is covered by darkness of dark moon, the senses are also covered for us. Like they are there, but they are not completely visible. The Prabhupada writing, when the living entity is within the womb, his gross body, that the sense organs, the mind are not fully developed. At such a time, the objects of the senses are not senses do not disturb him. That means even though they are because they are not manifesting, they are not disturbing. Prabhupada is telling, in a dream, young man may experience the presence of a young woman because at the time the senses are active, because the undeveloped senses or a child or a boy will not see a young woman in his dream. This is such a nice analysis Prabhupada is telling. That means the why is the child is not seeing a young woman in the dream, because his mind is not fully developed. That's why mind is not fully developed. That's why he is not able to see a woman, a child or a boy will not see, but a young man will see because his mind is developed. So here, the gross body, the 10 senses, and the mind are not fully developed. So at the time, the objects of senses do not disturb him. That means he will not get a dream of a woman. The child will not get a dream of woman because his senses are not will not disturb him. The senses are active in youth even when one dreams. And although that means uh, subtle senses are active in the dream, gross senses you are sleeping. Although there may be no woman present, the senses may act and then there may be some seminal discharge. So this is actually proof that it's not the gross senses. If you remember the 10th chapter of second canto, where Virat Rupana first comes his desire. So desire of Virat Rupa, and then comes the gross sense, then the subtle sense, then the sense perceptions, and the element. So if you remember this, I'll just write 2, 3 so that you can recollect what exactly I'm telling. So if you see how these things are uh, manifested, the list is like, say, if you talk about the first, the ears. So if you say ears is called karna or karna, right? Now the subtle sense is called stotra, and the sense perception is called sound, and the element is ether or sense object, we can call, not perception, object. Sense object is right. Now then, what is the Lord's desire here? uh, Here he wanted to hear by sound, so understand through sound. So when Lord want to understand the soul, then first the sense object, sense organ is the gross organ and sense organ. Both are generated. So it's not just the gross organ. You're understanding? So it's the subtle sense organ that is generated. Now when he wanted to see, so then what is happening? The gross sense organ is called akshini, right? Eyes. And what is the subtle sense organ? Chakshu. And then you have form, that is, and then you have the fire element. Now there is the demigod also connected to it, that will not take. But what I want to say, here you are seeing the subtle senses: stotra, chakshu, jihva, talu, grana. So these are the subtle senses. So we all, so as Virata has, Virat Rupa is desiring all these things. He want to see, he want to taste. So once he wanted to taste, drink and eat. Then what happens? Then you get talu, the gross. And what is the subtle one? Jihva. You're understanding? So now, then here the taste will come, and here water comes. Now, what I want to tell is that here the subtle senses we all have. So whatever Virata has, same, that is the he distributes to all living entities the same thing. So based on the desires, so desire to understand through sound, desire to see, desire to eat. So these are our Virata's desire. So from that he gets that Virata body, and then we all living entities, we are also given the same. Okay, I also have desire to see. Okay, from Virata's original all these things, then the small it is divided to all of us. This technology, actually, basically, if you see, like, this is a technology, ability to see a technology, ability to hear is a technology. So all the technology is there with Virata, so he's sharing with the living entities, that's all. In a small way. So now when the gross body is performing, then what is happening is, so in the dream, so now in the dream, now gross body is not working. So in this dream, these sense organs, ears, akshini, talu, eyes are closed, ears are not hearing, we are not tasting anything. Then where this is happening is the subtle senses are active there. Chakshu, stotra, jihva. That is why this is there. Even although there is no woman present, the senses may act. So that is actually what happens here. So udara and all these things. So activities of subtle body and gross body depends on how developed conditions are. The example of a moon is very appropriate. On dark moon night, the full shining moon is still present, but it appears not to be present due to conditions. Similarly, the senses of living entity are there, but they only become active when the gross body and subtle body are developed. Unless the senses of gross body are developed, they will not act on the subtle body. Similarly, because of the absence of desire in subtle body, there may be no development in the gross body. So this is also very deep, nice point. So because time is over, we will not discuss further. So any questions, comments? Till now. Uh, First, we'll take in the chat box. I think there are something here. So, so what happens if we try to fulfill the material desires that manifest during our dreams while attempting to practice Krishna consciousness? If you are fulfilling your desires in the dream, nothing will happen. It is safe only. Then that desires will not manifest grossly. So it is actually Krishna is saving us by fulfilling our desires in the dream. So that's what I was telling. Brahmachari is getting married in the dream. So he is safe only because he's not marrying. And safe in the sense he according to his pursue, what he is pursuing, that is good only for him, that he's no need to get married in a gross level like that. So how to transcend the shuddha sattva, is it possible? Yeah, mamcho abhya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So you can transcend when you are abhyavichari bhakti, when you are intensely doing bhakti, you will transcend the modes. So we will take questions now. Yes, Gail Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, I have a couple things, but just to follow up on this other question about, if you dream, then you won't get um, basically karmic reaction for that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, so, but when there's more intention, let's say when somebody is actively fantasizing, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's on the mental level also, just like a dream. But there is a person is actively fantasizing or actively trying to act on the mental level only. Would there be karmic reaction for that?
It is as good as if you are contemplating that, it is as good as enjoying physically only. Like
Hmm.
if I am contemplating, sitting and contemplating on sense gratification, it is as good as you are doing it.
Hmm.
So you get the same pleasure. That's why you get the reaction also at some level.
So why do we hear that, at least in Kali Yuga, you don't get reaction as long as it doesn't manifest on the gross level?
See, what happens is if you are getting a thought like that, then you will not get reaction. But you are sitting and contemplating on that, then definitely that is going to contaminate you. So that is a reaction is anyway coming for you. So reaction is
That's
not that you have to get a you get the impressions, na. See, if I am sitting and contemplating on how to rob a bank, so I may not get the punishment of going to prison, but definitely I am contaminating my mind with such negative thoughts,
mm.
right? So it's not that you are going to get reaction for it in grossly, but you get reaction in a subtle level because that. But you suddenly got a thought of robbing a bank, that you will not get any reaction for it. It just happened. Some just thought came, but contemplating is actually wrong only. Sitting and contemplating.
But reaction, how how might one get that reaction?
Oh, reaction is that, see, Reaction is that you're getting bad sanskaras, na? That is also reaction only, na?
Mm-hmm.
It is not in terms of punishment, but sanskaras are developed, no? Bad sanskaras. That is also reaction only, na?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Also, Peru, we said that the soul identifies with the subtle body when awake, and I mean when let me see, with the subtle body when asleep, and the gross
Yeah.
body while awake. But the
Yeah.
soul does also identify with the subtle body while he's awake, also.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. We are identifying, but the more activities are done, we will not be able to do much with the subtle body. Like, I want to eat. When you are awake, you want to eat. Will you eat in the mind or you will do grossly?
yeah, grossly, of course.
Right. So that but in dream you are eating, you eat in the mind only. And you experience and pleasure and pain in eating in the dream with the subtle body. But when you are awake, the same pleasures we experience with the gross body. It's like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and also we said that the prana is arrested when somebody experiences severe loss, like loss of a loved one. But
Yeah,
it could be the loss of, let's say, you had a car that you were very much attached to, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and it got smashed. You
Yes.
you polished that car like it was your child. So
Yes.
you can experience the arresting of the prana for something like that too, right? Any deep attachment, no? Whether it's a person
Yeah,
or
possible, possible. When people lose their property, they are shocked for they
yeah,
suddenly they heard that all their stocks are trash. They'll commit
yeah,
suicide.
yeah, right, like this. Okay, one last thing. Um, you know, I've always heard that the thing that links the soul to the body, subtle and gross, is the false ego. That's the
Yeah.
linking element. But
Yeah.
you're saying that it's the prana. So I'm trying to reconcile this.
See, uh, the soul connecting to the subtle body is prana, and
So
the subtle body to gross body is false ego.
wait, can you say that again? Oh,
The soul should connect to subtle body first.
yeah,
So, what is the connection of the subtle body and the soul?
you say prana. Huh?
Yes. And then the gross body and subtle body should have connection. So, what is the connection?
More prana? I
That
don't
is
know.
ahankara.
Okay.
There the false ego comes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 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 Uh, Thank you, Babu.
Next. All my classes are on Sankhya only, maybe connected to body. Because the topic is that only. Even Nardaman is talking on that, Prabhupada is talking, so I am also talking. So,
Oh,
please.
I love Sankhya. I love Sankhya. Yeah.
I
So
also love Sankhya.
your classes are perfect for me.
No, we like Sankhya, so the topic comes, we get excited. I want to know more about it. So, uh, yes, Rupran.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was Pranam.
No, no.
Prabhuji, in one of the purport you explained, no, Prabhuji, this, just, Prabhuji. Yeah, the mental level, like the stockpile of dreams becomes visible on the mental platform by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can you please throw some light on that, Prabhuji? What does that mean, Prabhuji? Instead of
Because
yes, Prabhuji.
so I have a desire. I have a desire.
Okay.
Okay, 1 minute, I'll move to you. So I have a desire, but now I don't want to be. I'm doing bhakti, and I also have a desire uh, to go back home, back to Godhead, and practice pure. But that desire is there, and Lord knows that desire is not conducive for my bhakti. So then, what Lord does? Okay, you have a desire, but you also have a strong desire to come to me. So two desires cannot be taken care in this body. Say I want to had a desire in past life to. I was giving example of a brahmachari marrying. So he had a desire, strong desire in some past life to get married, and then he is now pursuing very serious spiritual life. So Lord understood her. These two desires cannot be simultaneously. He cannot do this also, that also. So what Lord does, he will fulfill the desire in a dream, so that he is getting the desire fulfilled also, and then his pursuing spiritual life is also not hampered. It's like that. So I will unmute you. Let's see. Clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, but he'll be satisfied with that fulfilling desire in the dream itself, Prabhuji. Is it like that?
Yeah, we will be satisfied.
Okay. It applies to everyone, Prabhuji.
Yeah, for
Since he's
everyone it applies.
satisfied to
Means
go to
when,
Krishna.
especially when,
Yes, Prabhuji.
especially for somebody who want to seriously practice bhakti, it applies for them.
Oh,
Because see, now I don't want it, but the desire is there. Say then what you feel,
okay.
Array, why this desire is there for me? So you are feeling bad for it, but you know you don't know how to come out of it. So we also have like
Okay.
that in our life now also, na. Array, I don't want
Yes,
to
Prabhuji.
eat food more so much, but I am not able to overcome that desire only. We all complain this
Okay.
every time. Roji, how to
Okay.
overcome this desire, how to overcome this. Sometimes Lord is merciful. In the dream only clears so that we don't have to struggle. If He gives all the desires
So
now and tell now we fight, then we say no, I cannot fight with them like
okay.
that.
Okay, so it is again a mental platform. You'll be satisfied in the mental platform. That is the understanding, Prabhuji.
Ah, yes. See, ultimately the pleasure where you get. If your desire is fulfilled, who is satisfied? Mind only, na?
Yeah, you said now only explained. Yes, Prabhuji.
So
But
now
then what you want in the material platform when in the for the normal people you want more, 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 na? It is not getting
that is
satisfied, no?
their that is their definition of happiness. That's why they need more on the on that level.
Okay.
For us,
Here
we
we are
don't
applying
want it.
our yeah.
Ah,
So we are applying
now,
this knowledge. So I don't want it. Okay, by this. So this is my way of I don't understand this, Prabhuji. So Krishna he wants us to stop that desire by making him to fulfill in the dream. This is the concept. This is the principle you are saying, right, no, Prabhuji?
means we don't want it so seriously. Then Krishna arranges in that way.
Okay.
So
So
we
by the
are not
plan of
serious
Krishna,
about. Like say
okay, by
now,
the plan of Krishna,
now,
he won't develop
now.
that desire. It is understanding, Prabhuji.
Now, say I give example. Say in the past, some lifetime you desire to become prime minister. Now, but now
Okay.
if I tell Mataji, now will you become prime minister? You say no, bro. I want to do bhakti. No, that desire is there. So
Okay.
Lord says, okay, let us clear in
Uh,
the dream. In one dream, you'll become prime minister.
one day, Prime Minister you'll become. Okay. Okay, Bharatji. So you will be happy and satisfied. That content will be there. That will be provided by Krishna. We should understand in that way. Yes, Prabhuji.
That's
So
all. Yeah.
you should not dream that again and again.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Means we will not
it's
get
not.
like I want to slap my mother-in-law. She did some mischief in the dream. You do it. Your desire is fulfilled. And then with
You
this,
can't
no,
go
I
openly.
thought.
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhuji. That we can't do openly, no, Prabhuji. That is in dreams only.
So in the dream you did, you'll not get reaction. Also, your desire is fulfilled and you are saved. Also, like that.
Something similar to this, Prabhuji. Okay. Anyways, it is everything is up to Krishna, and again we have to control it. It's both we have to go simultaneously. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. That
Correct. Yes, Veer Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhu,
Yeah,
just
no.
extension of the Mataji's question. Prabhu,
Yeah.
when I mean, Jiva having material desire, and that material desire is manifesting in dreams. So that manifestation in dream, does it create another impression, or it? I mean, it nullifies
No, it
over
will
period
not
of
create
time.
impression, bro. It will not create impression.
Oh,
It is removing impressions.
right. And Prabhu, when sometimes we say na ki having desire of going back to Godhead, does this
Yeah.
desire fall in category of Anyabhilashta Sunya?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it is Anukulyana Krishna. It is favorable to Bhakti, na?
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Done.
Gail Mataji, you have a question or it is previous hand raise?
No, sir. New hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just following up on your um, thing with Prabhu just now. So, when Krishna fulfills our desire in a dream, that
Yeah,
remove so that removes impressions, right?
yeah.
But when you're fulfilling a desire, isn't that enjoyment?
Fulfill desirement, it's
Enjoyment.
it's enjoyment only.
But we said that this is the enjoyment that creates some scars, no?
Yeah,
So when
but this
Krishna,
enjoyment in the mind, na, that is removing actually. It is not increasing. That is, all the samskaras are coming out actually. They are not going in. When it's coming in the dream, that sanskaras are coming out. They are not going in.
but you see,
Because
this is the,
like now with the senses, how it happens is you are writing a programming. So samskaras are coming inside. But when it comes to uh, the what do you call dreams and all, they are going outside. They are
but
not
in
coming
either case,
inside.
but my problem is that in either case, you're enjoying, you're enjoying.
Ah,
So,
but it is not like enjoying. It is not gross enjoyment in the sense which causes impressions. This is because of
but why?
uh,
Because it's dreams. How come that's not causing impressions?
mm, I also did not think about it. Let me think and tell you.
Okay.
If I hear somebody, I did not hear, but why impressions, why enjoyment in dream is not causing impression? I
Mm-hmm.
will go through it uh, if I understand and from the lectures of Maharaj, I will let you know.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank
Maybe
you.
tomorrow I can try to think.
Thank you, Prabhu. Mm.
Alright.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments? Yeah, fulfilling desires in dream Krishna is doing for devotees. He may do for other living entities also, other people also he may do, but for devotees it is more because it will help them to progress in bhakti. Others may also get desires fulfilled in the dream. Let's say they are getting dreams, that means some desires are getting fulfilled, obviously. So, yeah. So, no questions, comment. We'll end here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Tantra